Of all the auto brands on the road today, only one has been named the best auto brand for 6 straight years. That brand is Mazda. Come shop and save on the award-winning lineup of new Mazdas right now at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Okay, I guess that means we're on. Hello and good morning to another week of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that your weekend was an absolutely fabulous one. If not, well, as we are so fond of saying each and every Monday, right about this time of the day, good Lord willing, you'll still be here when the next one rolls our way, and you will have the opportunity to try it all over again. We start today's show. First of all, let me give you a heads up. I am flying totally blind today. My floor producer extraordinaire, Marty, is out for the day. So if you see things a little herky-jerky today, well, just chalk it up to old Clarence flying solo today. We start today's show talking about hypocrisy in government. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, all you have to do is open your eyes and look around. Right after the advent of the Biden administration, as you well know, the border wall with our country and Mexico by executive order was halted. Joe Biden, at the time, called the wall, quote, a waste of money and not a serious policy solution. Well, don't know how many of you have heard just yet, but the acting U.S. Capitol Police Chief is now calling for the security wall around the Capitol to become permanent. So let me get this straight. It's a waste of money to try and secure the border for the American people, but it's a good use of resources to build a permanent wall around the Capitol. Let me be sure I understand this. we don't need armed servicemen protecting our border and its citizens, but we need armed servicemen in the streets of our nation's capital protecting Congress. Funny how that works, isn't it? Meanwhile, John Kerry, the newly appointed climate change czar, is taking every opportunity available to preach to us about the dangers of climate change. Recently, last year, as a matter of fact, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, did a survey, and they found out that private jets emit 40 times more carbon into our environment than commercial jets do. And yet, it's John Kerry's wife, the wife of the climate czar, who owns a private jet leasing company. So the guy who is preaching to us about climate change, his wife owns a company who every time its wheels up are emitting 40 times more carbon emissions than little folks like you and I when we fly commercially. Of course, now that hypocrisy is pretty much in line with what we've heard from all of the climate alarmists in years past. Al Gore, arguably the author of the whole climate change farce, Mr. Inconvenient Truth. Remember that movie? Well, a study was done last year, and they found out that at his residences, one of only 3 homes, mind you, they found out Al Gore's home was using about 31 times more electricity than the average home in America. Just one home, his Nashville home, the 20-room, 10,000 square foot mansion, used well over 230,000 kilowatt hours to run the home. The average American home uses 11,000 kilowatt hours. 230 plus thousand versus 11,000. As a matter of fact, the survey says Al Gore, his home in Nashville, the guy to heat his swimming pool for 1 year used enough electricity to run the average American home for 6 years. And this is the guy that's going to preach to us about climate change. He uses as much electricity to heat his freaking swimming pool in 1 year, enough electricity to heat an American home for 6 solid years. And I'm supposed to listen to this guy tell me about the dangers of climate change. A little later on this week, hopefully tomorrow, I'm going to spend some time with you. I think I figured out this whole climate change debacle, fiasco, farce. And it's all about control. If you look at it through the right lens, you realize exactly what's going on. This is not about saving the planet, y'all. This is about control. It is about controlling every single aspect of your life. What you drive, where you live, what you eat, where you work, everything. Remember I told you all something not so very long ago. We talked about how if you listen to people and pay attention to what they're saying, how you find out inevitably what's behind the curtain. Americans are waking up. Slowly but surely, we're waking up. And it is becoming more and more clear with every passing day. What is so ironic, it would almost be comical if it weren't so devious, is when you listen to these folks talk, you find out that what they are pushing as a solution really isn't a solution at all. As a matter of fact, John Kerry, climate czar, now tells us that we only have 9 years left. We got 9 years before this stuff is all irreversible. And we had 12, but you take away 3 because of the Trump administration, we've only got 9 years left, y'all, to save the planet. But ironically, just last week, Wednesday, as a matter of fact, at a White House news conference, John Kerry acknowledged that what they are trying to push in this country, if you were able to achieve it right now, if you went to zero emissions, if you wave the magic wand, all the cars stop polluting, all the greenhouse gases go away, all the coal-fired plants shut down, it wouldn't fix the problem. Because over 90% of the emissions causing the problem come from outside our borders. So if 90% of the problem comes from outside of our country, if we achieve in this country zero emissions and we don't fix the problem, why the rush to cram this down the throats of the American citizenry? Again, y'all, this is not about saving the planet. This is all about control. Of course, now, we are humans, and despite what the media may tell you, there will always be someone who is looking to gain more power. And sadly, those who aspire to gain more power typically are the ones least suited to wield it. Some of y'all ain't gonna get that till later, but that's okay, long as you get it. I say again, those who are most seeking more power typically are those least suited to wield it. Got to get this first break of today's show out of the way. Of course, it is Monday, so coming up next, it is another edition of Now That's Just Stupid. That's coming up next. After break one on today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Team Honda wants to thank you for once again making us Louisiana's #1 new car dealer by offering you never-before-seen savings. For the first time ever, get 0% financing up to 60 months on some of your favorite Honda models. Get thousands in savings right now at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. It is, of course, Monday, and if you are new to the show, new to the station, new to the area, we've instituted a very special segment on Monday entitled, Now That's Just Stupid. Not the traditional S-T-U-P-I-D, but S-T-O-O-P-I-D. That is an entirely different level of stupid. We start today's edition in Big Springs, Texas. I don't know what it is going to take for young people to get through their heads that social media, like anything else in life, can be a good thing and can be a bad thing. Why young people continue to engage in activity that is, at best, a misdemeanor, at worst, a serious felony, and then post it on social media, I don't know what it's going to take for them to get out of this. But 17-year-old Brian Wilkins, an employee at Taco Villa on South Gregg Street in Big Spring, Texas, is in some hot water today after he and a co-worker decide, it'd be a good idea for you to stand at the griddle preparing people's food. I'm going to take my cell phone out and shoot videos of you spitting on the griddle while you're fixing their food and serving it to people. Oh, and then we can post it on social media. The video, as you might imagine, has gone viral. He and his illustrious co-worker have both been fired and now turned themselves into the district attorney's office. There's already talk of lawsuits from folks that dine there regularly, and the mayor there says there will be consequences. Quote, "Folks are pretty upset, and understandably so. It's just not something you do. The city does not find this amusing at all. And so when issues like this come up, we'll respond immediately." Why young people insist on continuing to do this is beyond me. Of course, now, in hindsight, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that they are so intellectually stunted that they inadvertently, on purpose, let the rest of us know just how stupid they actually are. And that way we can take steps to protect ourselves, our loved ones, and the rest of the public. But at the end of the day, once again, that's just stupid. Second, remember not so very long ago when the city of Chicago and their crime problem there was just getting totally, completely out of hand. And then President Donald Trump said, look, I understand y'all having problems with crime there. It's getting totally out of hand. I have at my disposal federal troops if you need some. I can send them to you. You can get a handle on this thing. Your citizens deserve better. Remember that? And the mayor, Lori Lightfoot, lost her freaking mind. Oh, you Nazi. Oh, you dictator. Oh, you remember the whole shenanigans, the whole episode. Well, now we find out that carjackings and crime in general, homicides particularly, have gotten so bad in Chicago that alderwoman, I guess that's the equivalent of our Metro Council or City Council, Chicago Alderman Stephanie Coleman has now decided that crime and carjackings in particular have gotten so bad in Chicago that she is hiring a private security firm for an hour each day so that residents can go and put gas in their cars without having to worry about being carjacked. You heard me right. The Chicago Tribune reports that Alderwoman Coleman is calling this Operation Safe Pump. It's being launched at the Citgo on 63rd Street and the Dan Ryan Expressway, and the Shell Station at 55th and Halsted. The Chicago Sun-Times is quoting Alderwoman Coleman as declaring that Chicago is in, quote, a state of emergency. Things have gotten so bad in Chicago that a city councilwoman now is hiring private security for gas stations so that you as a citizen can go and pump gas in your car and not have to worry about being carjacked. By the way, in Chicago, so far this year, just in 2021, 170 plus carjackings. By the way, one of the latest involved an off-duty police officer. Oh, and did I mention the carjacker of this off-duty policeman was 14 years old. So the president offers you help. You call him a Nazi. You call him a dictator. Now what's really going to be interesting is to find out who's going to pay for this private security so people can pump gas and not have to worry about being carjacked. Who's going to pay for it? President offered to help you. You called him a Nazi, called him a dictator. And here it is, less than a month after he's out of office, and you have to put armed guards at gas stations just so people can pump some freaking gas. You already know. Now that's just stupid. Final one for today. As you well know, the censorship around this country for conservatives in particular has just gotten totally and completely out of control. The problem that we have in this country with the truth is getting more and more apparent every single day. How it is that we have arrived at a point in this country where the truth is viewed as hateful is beyond me. This week, well, last week, Twitter announced that the Daily Citizen, a publication of Colorado's version of Focus on the Family, has been banned from Twitter because of hateful speech. All they did was publish some of the individuals that Joe Biden is nominating for various cabinet positions. One of them, the Assistant Secretary of Health, Rachel Levine, according to the article, and if you see the picture, you'll know they're not lying, is a transgendered woman. That is, quote, a man who believes he is a woman. As a result, the social media giant Twitter has locked the magazine out of their account for violating Twitter's rules forbidding, quote, hateful conduct. The magazine appealed, but Twitter says the account will remain locked until it deletes the tweet. Writing in the subsequent email, Twitter responded, "Hi, the Daily Citizen, your account has been locked for violating the Twitter rules, specifically for violating our rules against hateful conduct. You may not promote violence against, threaten, or harass other people on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, sexual orientation, gender, gender identity, religious affiliation, age, disability, or serious disease. Please note that repeated violations may lead to a permanent suspension of your account. Proceed to Twitter now to fix the issue with your account. I read to you the tweet. Nowhere in there is there anything hateful. Is there the inciting of any violence? It is simply stating fact. This is a man who thinks he's a woman. I guess it's my fault for paying attention in biology class. Doggone it, I knew I could have been goofing off and wasting that time someplace else. Oh, silly me, I decided to pay attention in the section on chromosomes. Bruh, you're a dude. You might identify as a woman, but at the end of the day, bruh, you're a dude. Pure and simple. And when we allow, well, y'all allow, these yahoos at Twitter, bless your little old heart, to tell you what you can think and what you can say, you are part of the problem. Hate speech. Because you told a dude you're a dude. Unless and until you change your chromosomes, bruh, you're going to always be a dude who thinks he's a woman. End of discussion. Anything else? That's just stupid. Bottom of the hour break. We'll bang it out. Talk more next on the Clarence Bug Show. Only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask. Wash your hands and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up.
Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, in recent memory, we have touched on any number of stories involving our young people and crime here in the great state of Louisiana. It is something that is in no way, shape, or form unique to Louisiana and our part of God's great creation. It is something that unfortunately we see all across America. It is an indictment, if you will, of what we have allowed our country to become. I mentioned to you in the last segment that one of the carjackings in Chicago involved an off-duty police officer being carjacked, and the perpetrator ended up being a 14-year-old. We have watched, unfortunately, the age, or ages, I should say, of young people get lower and lower and lower as far as offender status is concerned in recent memory. And we have also, as many others have done as well, issued the call for parents to become more involved in their kids' lives and more involved in holding their kids accountable for things. Well, as a guy with the platform that is charged with putting these stories out there on a regular basis to keep everyone informed as far as what is going on in our society, I am also obligated to acknowledge those who are making strides, many of them, as is the case with this, painful strides to rectify the problem. Not so very far from here, in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Port Barry, Louisiana. If you've ever traveled 190 heading west, you know where Port Barry is. 4 teenagers there are accused in a string of burglaries in Port Barry. Jamin Mason and Keon Common, both of them 19 years of age, along with 2 juveniles, ages 15 and 16, are facing charges related to about 24 vehicle and home burglaries. Police Chief Dion Boudreaux says several firearms were also stolen in these burglaries. Most of them, the firearms, fortunately, have been recovered after being found in an abandoned building near one of the burglarized homes. The chief also says more arrests are expected. Here's where the story deviates from the norm. 2 of the individuals arrested for this string of nearly 24 burglaries of vehicles and homes, 2 of the suspects were turned in by their parents. You heard me right. Chief Boudreaux, quote, "I know some will blame the parents, And although I agree that moral values and respect starts at home, the parents aren't always 100% the blame. This younger generation is being fed the wrong mind foods and influences outside of home life as well. The actions of the two juveniles arrested in these cases may be a product of the influences of today's criminal element part of society. But I have to give credit to their parents for bringing them in, cooperating with law enforcement, and instead of defending their kids, they were on our side. It takes a lot for a parent to do so, and this world needs more of that. Amen, Chief. Amen. Now, I am not going to pretend for 1 millisecond that this was an easy decision for these parents to make. I think back to my upbringing and the upbringing of just about every baby boomer and those of the greatest generation watching right now. Your parents probably would have done the same thing. It would have been painful. No parent wants to see their child behind bars. And no parent relishes the idea of being the one to take them to the place of incarceration. I got to tip my hat to these parents because, one, they did the right thing. And I can only imagine, more than likely, and let me say for the record, I know nothing about these parents, their children, or their home life. But I've got to imagine this was probably not the first sign of trouble that these parents have seen from these kids in their household. More than likely, there have been other instances, and the parents found themselves at wit's end. Regardless, number two, for parents struggling with this exact same thing, if it helps any, at the end of the day, as painful as it was to turn them in, as painful as it may be to have to go and visit them behind bars, well, there's really no other way to say it. You may well have saved their lives. Lest we forget, a number of weapons were stolen during these burglaries. And who's to say that the next burglary that they would have attempted, stealing a gun from someone's car, who's to say the homeowner may not have stumbled upon it, come outside with their secondary firearm, and you know what happens from there. It may well have been, as painful as it is to turn them in, you may well have saved your child's life. Experience is always the best teacher. And while we can preach all day long about, son, you don't want to go to prison, you don't want to go to jail, that's not the place for you, it's not what you want to do with your life. Many times, as much as we preach, until they find themselves in that situation, It doesn't sink in. Many times, you can talk, as the old folks say, to you blue in the face, but it doesn't reach them. I can only begin to imagine what an agonizing decision it was for these parents. Of course, now, those parents may have been raised by people like my parents, so it really wasn't that big a deal. You big enough to do it? Well, you're big enough to be held accountable for it. And at the end of the day, if you are struggling with the same thing as a parent, I can only urge you to think long term. If you don't do what these parents in Port Barre chose to do, what kind of future are you guaranteeing your children? If you don't do, when faced with the same situation as these wonderful parents in Port Barre, if you don't do it, how much longer are your kids going to be around? You see where that goes? You can only engage in behavior of that sort for so long. The old folk tell you, boy, that's going to catch up with you one day. There's something to be said about loving our children enough to make the hard decisions. Tip of the hat to your parents in Port Barre. Your kids may not think so, but you did what's best. And Lord willing, they'll be around many years from now, and they'll thank you for straightening them out. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put a big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we'll wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
We're making 2021 the year of savings, and it starts right now at Team Toyota. Come get a new 21 Corolla for just $189 a month, or get a 20 Camry for just $19,995. It's a year full of savings starting right now, right here at Team Toyota.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back with the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Well, it's my job, so I got to do it. My late father would say, wait, is that your job, son? Yes, sir. Well, shut up and do it. Shut up and do your job. I hate to leave you on a downer of a scenario, but it is what it is. And unless and until we acknowledge this and, more important, take corrective steps to resolve the situation, we will find ourselves where we find ourselves in perpetuity. The latest reading scores for Louisiana's youngest students have been revealed, and they're not good. As a matter of fact, for 3 consecutive years now, the reading scores of our youngest students in Louisiana continue a nosedive. The Advocate is reporting that more than half of the students in kindergarten through 3rd grade are performing below grade level. Quote, clearly what we are doing is not getting the results that our kids deserve. I'm alarmed by this. That quote is attributed to State Superintendent of Education Cade Brumley. Reading problems, as you well know, for years, it's been a problem in our state. And it's one of the reasons why we find ourselves perennially ranked at the bottom of national education achievement in America. Listen at these numbers. Just under 60% of kindergartners were reading below grade level in 2020. That's up from 50% in 2018. The report also shows nearly 58% of first graders are reading below grade level. In 2018, that number was 39%. That's a 19% jump in 2 years. Among second graders, nearly 52% fell below grade level. 2 years ago, it was only 41%. For third graders, more than half read below grade level, compared to 41% in 2018. Experts tell us that if a child is not reading on their grade level by the 3rd grade, that student is at risk of having long-term problems in school. By the 3rd grade. So right now in our state, 60% of kindergartners below level. First graders, 58% below grade level. Second graders, 52% below grade level. Third graders, more than half below grade level. If you can't read, you can't learn. If you can't learn, you can't earn. And we know what happens after that. Time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. But this day, just like any other, yeah, you're right, America, not perfect. But doggone it, from its old boy's money, it's still the best there is, and God knows there is no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you do realize by now that he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Best news you gonna get all day, son. There ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.